All right, everybody, happy Monday. We are doing lesson 103 today. It is called fractions equal to 1 and fractions equal to 1/2. If you have your textbook, you can get it out. We're on page 718, and we are going to go through some examples today. But first, we're going to go over just to another document, and I'm going to show you kind of what we're talking about when I say fractions equal to 1 and fractions equal to 1/2. All right, so 1, a fraction that is equal to 1, would mean, let me just show you an example. If we've got 4 pieces in this pizza or whatever it is, and we have all 4 of them colored in, then that would be 4/4, which is the same as 1 whole pizza, right? So for fractions equal to 1, all you need to know is that the top number is equal to the bottom number. The top number is called the numerator, and the bottom number is called the denominator. Okay? Numerator and denominator. The top number is equal to the bottom number if it is to equal 1. For example, other fractions that equal 1 could be 13/13, or 59/59, or 27/27. It really doesn't matter what number you use, as long as the top number and the bottom number, or the numerator and the denominator, is the same. Okay, so fractions that are equal to 1, numerator is the same as the denominator. That's what you need to know for this. Okay, if you want to pause this video right here and write down numerator, denominator, all of that, we are going to move on to talking about fractions that are half, or fractions that are equal to 1/2. Okay, so pause that video. I'm going to erase this, and we are going to move on. Okay, so fractions that are equal to 1/2. First, let's talk about 1/2. Okay, I have this lovely rectangle here, and this is 1/2. If I have a rectangle that's very similar to the other one, except it has 4 pieces instead of 2 pieces, that means our whole is 4. What number would go on top for it to be equal to 1/2? Well, look over here. I've got this whole side colored in. So I'm going to color in this piece and this piece, so it looks like the same amount is colored in, right? How many pieces did I just color in? I just colored in 2 pieces, because 1/2 is the same thing as 2/4. If I have 1/2 of a pizza, or I have 2/4 of a pizza, it's the same amount of pizza. Okay, another way for you to see that is the top number, our numerator here, is half of the denominator. If the numerator is 1/2 of the denominator, then it is equal to 1/2. Another way to think about it is just thinking about it the opposite way. If you multiply the numerator by 2, if you double it, so 2 times 2, if that equals what's on the bottom, the denominator, 2 times 2 is 4, then 2/4 does equal 1/2. Okay, so let me give you another example. 8/16. Is that equal to 1/2? Well, remember what we can do. 8 times 2 is what? Is 16. So 8/16 is 1/2. Okay, you can multiply the top number by 2 or just double it. You can do 8 plus 8. It's the same thing. And you get 16, which means it is equal to 1/2. This is equal to 1/2. Okay, we're going to get rid of that part so we don't get confused. All right, what about 10/12? Is that equal to 1/2? Well, let's do 10 times 2. We get 20. Is 20 the same thing as 12? Nope. So that is not equal, does not equal 1/2. Okay, hopefully that gives you a little bit of an understanding about fractions that are equal to 1/2 and fractions that are equal to 1 whole. Now we're going to go to the lesson practice, or the examples in the textbook. So if you have your book in front of you, we are going to do example number 1 on page 718. Which of the following fractions, these 4 fractions right here, Which of the following fractions are equal to one whole? Okay, is 1/6 the same as 1 whole? Nope. 5/6? Nope. 6/6? Yes. 7/6? No. Okay. So remember, if a fraction is equal to 1, the top number and the bottom number are the same thing. Okay. Example number 2, write a fraction equal to 1 that has a denominator of 7. Okay. So it needs to equal 1, and it's a fraction, so we have our fraction bar there. It says that the denominator needs to be 7. So think in your head, is the denominator the top number or the bottom number? The denominator is the bottom number. So what do we put on the top to make it equal to 1? Remember, it's the same number. So 7/7 is the same as 1 whole. Think about it. If you have a pizza that is 7 pieces, 1 whole pizza is 7 pieces, and you have all 7 of those pieces, you have 1 whole pizza. Okay? So we are now going to move on to example number 3 on the other page. So if you have your textbook, we're just moving on to page 719, and we're going to answer A, B, and C. A, B, and C. Okay? So example 3, A. It's the first one that we are going to do. Which fraction below equals 1/2? So we have 3/7, 6/12, and 5/9. Okay? We have 3/7, 6/12, and 5/9. So which fraction equals 1/2? All right, well, let's start with 3/7. 3 times 2 is 6. Is 6 the same as 7? Nope. So that one does not equal 1/2. We've got 6/12. 6 times 2 is 12. Is 12 the same as 12? Yes. So the fraction that equals 1/2 is 6/12. Let's just go to the next one to make sure. 5 times 2 is 10. Is 10 the same as 9? No. So that one does not equal 1/2. So the one that equals 1/2 is 6/12. So now we're going to talk about how we figure out if it's less than 1/2 or greater than 1/2. Okay, this is a little tricky. So you can draw a picture if you want, 3/7, and you can figure out if it looks like it's less than 1/2 or greater than 1/2. But with numbers that are really close to 1/2, like 3/7, I'm not going to tell you if it's bigger or less than 1/2, but it's very close to 1/2. It's hard to see in a picture. So let me show you another way that you can do it. Okay, 3/7. We are going to multiply this by 2, and we get 6. Okay, because 6 is less than 7, that's how we know that 3/7 is less than 1/2. Okay, for example, if, no, we got to do it a different way because it's 7 and that is an odd number. All right, let's do it like this. This has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, wow, great picture. Okay, so we have 3/7. 1, 2, 3. If that was 1/2, then that means we could color in 3 more and it would equal the whole thing. So 1, 2, 3, but it doesn't fill in the whole thing, which means that 3/7 is less than 1/2 because you have extra. It's not quite 1 whole. 1/2 plus 1/2 should equal 1 whole. Okay, this 3/7 plus 3/7 equals less than 1 whole. So that means 3/7 is less than 1/2. Okay, so 3/7 is less than 1/2. Which number is greater than 1/2? We're going to do the same thing with 5/9. 5 times 2 is 10. Is 10 bigger or smaller than 9? 10 is bigger than 9, so 5/9 is bigger than 1/2. So the answer to this one is 5/9 is greater than 1/2. Okay, remember, you guys can be taking notes if you need to be taking notes, but more importantly, I need you watching what I'm doing. If you write it all down but you don't understand it, it's not going to help you on the test. It's not going to help you on the homework. You need to understand what I'm talking about. So for this next one, you can write notes if you need to, but I really want you to pay attention to what I'm saying because these are the tricky ones. Example number 4. We are comparing 3/8 and 1/2. We need to figure out if 3/8 is bigger than 1/2 or less than 1/2. Okay, we're going to do it the same way. We are going to do 3 times 2. 3 times 2 is 6. Is 6 bigger than 8 or smaller? Or is it the same as 8? Or is it smaller than 8 or bigger than 8? It is smaller. 6 is smaller than 8, which means 3/8 is smaller than 1/2, which means 1/2 is bigger. This one I will draw a picture just so you can see it. This one's a little bit easier to draw a picture than 3/7. Okay, so not on all of them, you won't be able to figure it out with a picture. So I do want you to memorize how you double the top number, and if it's the same as the bottom number, then it's equal to 1/2. If it's smaller than the bottom number, then it's less than 1/2. If it's bigger than the bottom number, then it's bigger than 1/2. For example, 3/8. Oh, this one I'm gonna change. 3/8 is smaller than 1/2 because we've got this piece over here that's not colored in, but on this side it is colored in. Okay, so 3/8 is smaller than 1/2. I realize this is kind of a hard concept, so if you need to go back and watch this video again, you can. We are going to do one more problem. This one is on a number line. If you need to go back and watch the video though, I would do that right now. The number line question you won't see on your homework. It's just all these other ones that you need to do. We're going to go through the number line one real quick. And then we do need to still go over a few more things. You are going to take a test on Friday. The test on Friday will have a lot of different concepts on it. So in each video this week, we are going to go through just a couple things that you might see on the test to help you get prepared. On Thursday, we'll review. And then on Friday, you'll take the test. There won't be a video on Friday. Okay, so we're going to just take a little bit of time right now to make sure you understand all the things. So we need to see the number line. For example, number 5. Round 7/10 to the nearest whole number. So we are going to look at this, 7/10. Look at this number line right here. 7/10. Is that bigger than 1/2 or less than 1/2? If it's bigger than 1/2, it will round up to 7. If it's less than 1/2, then it will stay at 6. Because it's telling us that we need to round to the nearest whole number. When we round to the nearest whole number, let me get my pen ready. All right, it's either going to round to 6 or round to 7. Okay, as you can see with this number line, 6 and 7/10 is obviously closer to 7, so it will round to 7. You can also do our little trick. 7 times 2 is 14, which is bigger than 10, so it rounds up. It rounds up to 7 because 7/10 is bigger than 1/2. Okay, so that is all that we need to do for this part of lesson 103, but you will need to know how to add money, subtract money, add decimals, subtract decimals on your homework. So your homework is going to consist of the things that we've just talked about and then the things that we are going to talk about right now. I'm not going to take a ton of your time. We are just going to practice adding decimals. If you already, and subtracting decimals. If you already know how to do this, then you don't have to stay in this video. You guys can go and start your homework. Good luck. Remember that you can take the quiz, the homework quiz, as many times as you want. So if you take it the first time and you miss half of them, go back, take it again. You can get them all right. It'll be the same question. So just pay attention to the ones that you missed. Okay, and work through the problems again and try to remember, because all of these questions you will see on your test. Okay, so today we are going to practice adding. So let's do $3.14 plus $17.89. Okay, you'll see something that looks like this. And then remember, when you're adding, you definitely want to put the decimals on top of each other. You gotta line up your decimals. So I'm just gonna put the decimals there first. So I've got $3.14. Okay. And then for this, my decimal's right here. So the number that goes to the left is going to be a 7. The number that goes to the right is going to be an 8. And then I need to make sure that I put it like that. Okay. My decimals need to be lined up. Okay. If I want, I can move this $sign over a little bit. So, whoops, that's blue, whatever. All right. So we can do that. All right. $3.14 plus $17.89. First thing we're adding. The first thing I'm going to do is do 9 plus 4, which is 13. If you want to pause the video and do it yourself and then check your answer with me, you can. 1 plus 1 is 2, plus 8 is 10. Carry my 1. Don't forget to bring down your decimal. 7 plus 3 is 10, plus 1 is 11. I'm going to put my 1 down there and my 1 up there. 1 plus 1 is 2. Bring down my $sign. So the answer is $21.03. Do not forget to line up your decimals. Do not forget to line up your decimals. All right, we're just going to do one more problem. We'll do a subtraction problem. Let's do let's do a big number. Let's do $193.76 minus $52.38. All right. We need to line up our decimals. So we've got 193.76. I'm going to always start with that big number when we're doing subtraction, right? And then I need to put $52.38 down here. But I want to make sure that I line up my decimal, so I'm going to put my decimal here. And then whatever number goes to the right of the decimal, I'm going to put right under that 7, which is a 3, this number right here. And then the number to the left of the decimal is a 2. I'm going to put that number there. And then I'm just filling in the rest of these numbers. Okay? Does that make sense how I'm doing that? I want you to write this down on a piece of paper so that you can see how you're doing it. It's not going to help you if you don't know how to line up your decimals. If you can't line up the decimals, it doesn't matter if you can add or subtract. The answer will be wrong. You need to have your decimals lined up. Okay? So make sure you know how to do that. And then let's quickly go through the subtraction. I'll switch colors real quick. 6 minus 8, we can't do that, so we got to borrow from the 7, make that a 6, that's a 16. 16 minus 8 is 8. 6 minus 3 is 3. Don't forget that decimal there. 3 minus 2 is 1. 9 minus 5 is 4. 1 minus, you can put a 0 there if you want. You don't have to, just bring the 1 down. Okay? And then it is money. I should have put these $signs there. Okay, so it's $141.38. On your homework, you will see adding money, subtracting decimals, all that stuff, plus what we just did in lesson 103 with the fractions that are equal to 1 and fractions that are equal to 1/2. Okay, good luck with your homework, and I will talk to you guys later.